Hey everybody, tonight we're going to be making jambalaya, which is a great dish. It's pretty easy to make. The version I'm going to be making tonight is kind of what you might consider an economical version. I'm going to be using canned tomatoes, canned chicken broth, and a generic sausage. Obviously, if you can get fresh ingredients, you're going to be a lot better off. Fresh tomatoes, homemade chicken broth, andouille sausage. It's going to come out better. But just about to start the work week, so tonight I'm going to make something that I can eat the leftovers from for the next few nights. So what I've got is our ingredients lined out and ready to go here. So I've got our sausage sliced up and ready to go. I've got 4 chicken thighs. I've got 2 ribs of celery and a bell pepper, 1 onion diced. Got some tomato paste, some garlic, some fresh thyme. Got a spice mixture of 2 teaspoons of Tony Chachere's, half a teaspoon of white pepper, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Got our tomatoes, chicken broth, and Worcestershire sauce here. So the first thing we're going to do is start browning off our sausage. We'll get that browned, take it off the heat. Then we'll brown up our chicken thighs in that, remove them from the heat. Then we'll start building everything. Then we'll add our chicken and sausage back in later and let it all simmer down and start doing the same from there. So let's go ahead and start browning off our sausage, and then we'll pick it up from there, and I'll show you how to do everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started browning off our sausage. So what I've got here is some bacon grease left over from breakfast this morning. I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of that. Throw in a little bit of olive oil. Crank the heat up a bit. Start adding our sausage to that. Let this start browning up, cooking up. So we'll let this go, take on some color. Then we'll take it off, cook our chicken in there. It's going to start building some great flavors. So can't go wrong with bacon grease and sausage. So let's get this thing going and we'll keep checking back. Okay, so our sausage is starting to take on some color, so what we're going to do is we're going to drain that off into this bowl. Then we're going to add our chicken, start browning it up, do the same thing. Okay, so our sausage is out, so now we're going to go ahead and put our chicken thighs in there. These are just regular chicken thighs with the bones in them that I've taken the skin off of. So if you see all the brown bits in the bottom of the pan, don't be worried. It's not burnt. That's going to be some good stuff after it's all said and done. So we'll go ahead and brown off these chicken breasts and then come back from there. Or I'm sorry, chicken thighs, and come back from there. Okay, so our chicken thighs is starting to take on some color. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off and put them on a plate to drain over here. I've got 2 leftover chicken thighs from the grill last night that I'm going to end up adding to this. But as you can see, they've taken on some good color. All the stuff on the bottom of the pan is what's going to end up helping this, helping the flavors taste a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and set our chicken to the side. I'm going to drain off some of this grease, and then we'll start sauteing up our vegetables. Okay, so our chicken's out. The grease has been drained off, so I'm going to go ahead and add our onion. Come back, add our bell pepper and celery. We'll saute those up a little bit. Start adding everything else and get this thing going. Okay, so I've added all of our vegetables. I just added about 2 tablespoons of chicken stock to help this deglazing process along. You can see all those little bits that were stuck on the bottom are starting to pull up. That's all going to add great flavor to this dish in the long run. So if the juice from the vegetables isn't enough to get that going, add a little water or a couple tablespoons of chicken stock and help it along. But you can see it's all pulling up nicely and smells great in here. So we'll let this go for a bit, add our tomatoes and stock, and keep going from there. Okay, so our vegetables have been going for a couple minutes here. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and add our garlic. It's about 2 or 3 cloves, about a tablespoon and a half of tomato paste. And then we can go ahead and add our seasoning mixture now. Give that a stir, let it go for a couple more minutes, then we'll add our tomatoes and chicken stock. So we'll check back in a second. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add a 28-ounce can of diced peeled tomatoes and about a tablespoon of fresh thyme. Mix that all up. We'll come back and add our chicken stock. Okay, so it's been a couple minutes since we added our tomatoes, so now I'm going to take a quart of chicken broth that I poured into our tomato can to kind of help rinse it out. Pour that in there, throw the rest of the quart in there. We'll let that simmer and cook down for a little bit. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take the chicken off the bone. This chicken isn't cooked all the way through, so you don't want to sample this until it's cooked all the way through, or you want to be real careful handling it. But all I did with this is just put some color on it and brown it up. We're going to pull the chicken off the bone, then cook it the rest of the way inside of our jambalaya, and then it'll cook it the rest of the way through like that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's been a couple more minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and add our chicken back in there. Let that cook down for a little bit. That'll finish up cooking the chicken. After that's done, we'll go ahead and add the rest of our sausage back in there and then go from there. Okay, while this chicken's cooking down, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in there and just a little touch of hot sauce in there. Let that keep going. Come back in a bit. Okay, so our chicken's cooked all the way through here. Everything's coming together nicely. So normally at this point I would add about 3/4 to a cup of rice and let it cook for about 15 or 20 more minutes until the rice soaks everything up and is cooked all the way through. But since I'm going to be eating this for the next 3 or 4 days, I'm going to go ahead and cook the rice separately. I find that if you put the rice in there and you don't eat it the first day, it kind of tends to get mushy and not so good. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, cook the rice separately. I'll add our sausage back in there, close the lid, cut the heat, wait till the rice is done, then serve it over the rice, and I'll show you guys how it looks from there. Okay, so everything's done here. Got some rice cooked here, got our jambalaya here. May not be conventional jambalaya without the rice cooked in there, but it's going to hold up for the next couple days a lot better this way. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little rice in our bowl here. And I'll scoop on a little of the jambalaya. That'll all soak up nicely, and I think it's going to be great. I already tasted it. It tastes great. So go ahead and give it a shot. Tell me what you think. Hopefully you like it and have good success with it. So until next time, see you later.